you ready for a Duolingo rant? Let's go. Let's start with Spanish. So, this is the kind of thing that Duolingo fails on big time. I know I'm relearning Spanish from Italian and not from English, where things may be clearer and even explained, but that's beside the point. I refuse to believe that Italians wouldn't have been confused by this. I got to the section Discuti di politica da istruzione, so I thought imperative, and rightly so. But then these sentences started appearing that clearly had the subjunctive in them because of the constructions that were being used, and I thought, what the heck is going on? So, I have this really old grammar book for Spanish from back when I was a student. Really old. I looked up the imperative and I found that the imperative, as a separate thing, only has two actual forms, singular and plural in formal U. The plural of which is unlikely to be practiced on Duolingo because it doesn't use European Spanish. However, all other forms of imperative are in the present subjunctive. How was I supposed to guess that? And yes, I know you mostly use the U form, but formal U is third person. And what about the let's do's? So I was expected to work out what the two different forms were because they threw in a few true subjunctive sentences which hadn't been covered yet. Because an Italian would get that. I don't think they'd have worked it out any quicker than me, because I only did 2 lessons before deciding I needed to know what was going on, which I couldn't find out on Duolingo, seeing as there are no grammar notes. Knowing in advance would have been a much better option. This is why, for most people, I'd argue it's a hard sell to get them to pay for Duolingo. Documentation, even the really dumbed down documentation Duolingo prefers, would be better than confusing the heck out of a student unnecessarily. And then I got something even more confusing. Now, I'd already gone past a section where they put all the tenses of there are together to confuse the heck out of me. They then did the same with to have to be able to, and to want to, all together. All the tenses, some of which hadn't been covered yet, in one step on the path. Seriously, I stared at my grammar book and the verb conjugations on reverso context for a fair few minutes before I worked out what was going on. I mean, it was easier having the Italian to compare, because at least that largely matches up. But talk about doing my head in. Who designed this course? 1 tense at a time, so that I can get used to the forms. Please, not everything, everywhere, all at once. Okay, I have now finished both the Spanish and French paths, and I'm just going to add a note here. Both paths changed when I was in the very final stages, adding more steps, but this didn't affect where I was right at the end on the revision section. Oh my God, those final revision sections were boring as heck. The titles of each section claimed you were going to revise certain things, but I kept getting the same boring old sentences over and over again, more so in the French than the Spanish. Eventually, I started doing 2 or 3 steps in the path and then jumping to the next section. It usually took a couple of attempts, but I just couldn't bear to be revising these same things over and over and over and over. And you know what happened in those jump to tests? I got lots of sentences I hadn't seen, or at least not for a long time, which is much more useful. But on the last section of the path, you have no choice but to do every step. Ugh. Okay, this wasn't so bad on the Spanish course because I did get a wide variety of sentences, but not so much on the French. Plus, Plus, when I got to the end of that last section, there was no fanfare, nothing. It seemed to think there was another section to go to. There wasn't, and I'm not sure I would have done it if there were, given what I've already said. I want my trophy. I deserve it. Give me my trophy. In general, these sections need far more variety to make it useful, because most of these sentences had very little relevance to me. And I know not everything can be relevant to everyone, but if you have a greater variety of sentences, you're more likely to hit relevance for more people. Either that, or make the revision part just a couple of sections. Side note, this sentence could be completely innocent, but once you've seen it a million times, it feels more than a little creepy. Okay, Duolingo rant over. Actually, no. One other thing. The Italian to French course doesn't cover all the tenses. How do I know this? Because there's a tense that's used in literature, which I discovered, because I don't remember it from my youth, when reading a book. Even a brief overview would be good, so you know it exists. Especially as you have to read to acquire enough language to be able to do anything with it. Okay. Done. Nope. I've literally just watched, this morning, another YouTuber detailing a ton of features that my app doesn't have. AI-based things. If these are on the really expensive version of Duo, okay, fine, have them. They didn't say. But if these are on the normal subscription, or free versions, I'm somewhat annoyed that I don't have them, and that they're doing this before giving everyone basic grammar tips. Okay, really done.